Mrs. Opportunistic, it's great that you came in today and that we could have this opportunity to talk. Now, as I understand, you have some concerning news you wanted to bring to my attention.
Well, yes. So, Dr. Killer, what I was looking at...
I'm sorry, Dr. Keeler. It's pronounced Keeler.
Killer?
Keeler.
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 Okay, yeah. Dr. Keeler. So what I was noticing is that when I looked through the studies, it was actually much more critical than what I was seeing.
Okay, so you're referring to the PXQ92. We haven't really come up with a name yet, but we're thinking something dynamic. The marketing staff is working on it.
I'm saying like the actual side effects that we're noticing.
Oh, the itchy, watery eyes. Yeah, we knew about that.
No,
the headaches. Yeah, the headaches.
Yeah, no.
No, not the headaches.
Not the headaches.
The smell of copper.
No, actually not.
The anal leakage? I'm not.
No, not the anal leakage. It was
the anxiety.
No, I mean I know that they have all those.
Because we're going to see it in the commercial that they could cause all that.
Yeah, no, it's not those. I mean, yes, those are there, but that's not my concern. My concern is actually more of what's going on with the cardiovascular area, where we're noticing more people are getting cardiovascular disease. They're having...
You're referring to the cardio emergencies.
Yes.
That's such a small percentage from what we can tell from our studies, and so, you know, we do know about it. We're monitoring it, but we do need to move forward with it.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. I mean, I'm not sure who skewed the numbers, but when I was there present and looking through them before they were moved and rearranged...
skewed the numbers, okay.
Well, it's from what I saw prior. It was like first it was, I would say, 90% of the people were having cardiovascular issues, some even clots, and it can be fatal.
Oh, wow! You're bringing a lot to my attention that I didn't know before. You know, we've actually been vetting you as well, and you know, we like what we see. In you and your work that you've done. You're a brilliant scientist, Dr. Opportunistic, and the thing is that what it comes down to is, I'm just going to come right out with it. We are impressed with your work. And your field of expertise in making genetically modified babies so that people can determine if they want blue-eyed children or even, tanner, and we think it's renovative and innovative. And so let me just cut to the chase.
Sure.
We here at NIMHEL would like to offer you a position with our company. Now, there is a $2 million sign-on bonus, and your yearly salary would be $5, $6, $7 million a year.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
and we would obviously supply a grant to continue your research because we really feel that's valuable. What do you say? Did you want to come on board with that?
Oh my gosh, I would love that.
Of course, to do so would mean that we would need you to sign a non-disclosure agreement about what we were just discussing with that new drug we're getting out on the market.
Oh.
We are monitoring the situation. We're aware of the problem. Trust me, we don't. I mean, we're for the people. So as are you. So that's the thing.
Right. I mean, we're both on the same team.
Trust me, we're on the same team. So what do you say? Do you want to become a NIMHEL, a scientist at NIMHEL Pharmaceuticals?
Just going to make sure it's so it's $2 million up front.
That's the bonus. Yeah, and a company car and a vacation every year.
And $7 million.
Yeah, yearly. $7 million yearly.
Wow. All right.
Unless you had a counter, we're open to discussion.
Okay, so I mean, I'm just thinking, with everything, 17 mil. I mean,
17. Yeah, we can make that happen. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
if just for you coming up, because we have that much faith in you and your abilities as a scientist. But just remember, we're going to need you to sign that. No more conversation about that pesky cardio problem. Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay,
right.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Great to be on board.
Hi, this is the Lourdes and Chris Show. This gorgeous, breathtaking my partner in healing right here, my partner in all things actually, is my gorgeous wife. She is so absolutely stunning. There are times where I'm just kind of like chillaxing and my wife will walk into a room and I forget that I'm supposed to breathe. That's how amazing my wife is.
Aww.
She's my favorite person in the world. She's absolutely my best friend. She's my best partner. She's my best in all. Best in show. She's amazing. And if you don't know Lourdes, you really want to because she is that phenomenal. but I got her, boys. She's mine. Absolutely love her. And I am more excited than a corrupt scientist receiving a corrupt payment to shut my mouth about a corrupt research project.
And they get really excited because that's like, almost hundreds of millions of dollars.
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
So that would make them very excited.
A grant. Yeah, that was kind of a throwaway to our little sketch that we did this week. So that's why we went with that one.
Which was fun. And I'm really excited because today we're going to talk about some really important stuff that I think most people kind of overlook.
And I am Chris. I am Lourdes' partner.
It's so funny. He doesn't give me a chance.
I just thought you were just
it's like he should wait till I'm done talking and then see if I don't say his name.
See where she goes.
So I was going to say I'm really excited because of the stuff that we're going to talk about that most people overlook. And it's exciting because I get to do that today and every week with my husband, Chris, who I dearly love with every part of my being.
Should have kept my mouth shut. My wife is always teaching me. Always my teacher, my wife. So, I agree. We're excited for this week because, we talk about mind, body, and spirit being the three tenets of what we're all about, being healthy mind, body, and spirit. And by the way, we apologize for last week. We should probably address the elephant in the room. Yeah, the video didn't go out last week. Something happened with the file. We don't know what happened to it. We're actually redoing the show this week because of that. But you know what? That meant that we did a rehearsal dry run, and that's right. And
that's what matters.
This is the matinee, guys. So this is the next show after the fact. So, so I do apologize but we do talk mind, body, and spirit because it's and when we say spirit, a lot of times even I tend to go to like the spiritual aspect of things, the spiritual like Christianity or whatever your belief system is. With your healing. A lot of times I go that way with it.
Well, I think also is people don't get that it's not just spirituality as far as when it comes to God, because obviously that's just number one.
Yeah.
But the spirit of things is also has to do the spirit in you, right? Like when you have the spirit of Christmas, the spirit of that. It's how you're feeling and being, the drive, right? Yeah. And that's what we're talking about.
So that's what we're talking about this week. Is actually it's the emotional centers that are connected to certain aspects of our machine or our body.
Yep.
And when Lourdes approached me with this topic and said we should talk about it, I was at first apprehensive because I thought I don't think that's emotions. In effect, obviously emotions are important. I mean, I'm not saying
emotions do affect because it works with the body. How you're feeling is what your body's going to do. If you're feeling good, things start staying, on a healthy note. But when you start feeling upset, it kind of starts breaking things down, especially if you stay on there.
Well, that much I'll acknowledge to you. And that's kind of where I was with that. I thought that's where emotions was like, if you don't want to be stressed because stress will break down your immune system and this thing. It never occurred to me that it's possible that specific emotions affect certain aspects of the body. And that was the part that I kind of was like, I don't know. And I looked into it. And the more I read, the more I thought, that's right.
That's true. I am going through that.
That seems legit. That seems, and then the more I read into it, I go, yeah, that's true. That person that I helped that one time with his situation that he was doing, his health opportunity, he did have that thing going on in his life. That's true.
And it did go with that.
And it did correspond with that thing. So this is very interesting. So buckle up tonight because it's going to be very interesting tonight to unpack some of this. Now there are seven emotional centers that we all deal with that correspond with the different aspects of the body.
And they're actually specific. There's seven.
Seven, right.
Yes.
Which is weird.
Because seven always shows up in my life.
It does. In fact, I'm not going to unpack that story yet because I'm going to get to it in just a second here. But it just happened again with this whole seven thing with her. I don't know. I can see if 9 is my thing because it was 90 the other night for me. I got to figure out if 9's my thing. Anyways, so the first emotional center actually has to do with joints and connective tissues, muscles, blood, and the immune system. And so when I first read this, it has to do with our social connections, and at work and at home and all around.
Yep.
Now, I happen to have issues with my joints and my skin. Actually, both of those. I make a secret of it.
And the thing is, he'll do things. He'll like do more juice and all this stuff.
And it gets better.
It does. It just goes boom. But because of the very thing he has an issue with in his life.
So at first I thought, I am a social guy. Right out of the gates, this is inaccurate. People love me. I love people. What is the meaning of this? But then the more I thought about it, I gave it some pause. And by the way, highly recommend that anybody watching this video or any of the videos that we do on the Lourdes and Chris show, and you can see all the former ones on the lourdesandchrisshow.com. That's where you're going to see all the former episodes. And on all the different social medias as well. But if you go to the lourdesandchrisshow.com specifically, all of our previous videos are on there.
And you go to Rumble as well. If you go to Rumble and look for the Lourdes and Chris show on Rumble, you'll also find, actually, I think almost every single one of them are on there.
Right.
And on
even
our website,
even the ones that YouTube rejected and,
yeah.
and Facebook rejected.
So Rumble has all of them. YouTube has almost all of them except for the ones they've rejected.
We didn't meet their criteria.
And then our website, it depends on when we have time to get them all up there.
Sure.
So even though many are on the website, all of them are definitely on Rumble.
Okay, so what I'm suggesting is to just try on everything that we have, and we'll try it on for size, because that's what I had to do with this week's research.
Yeah,
was because, or I should say last week, but this week now, that research, because it was like, I am good socially, except I'm not. I have this weird thing, and it's been for a long time. I've had this weird thing. I don't like going out. And I have this weird thing. I don't know what it is, and I don't know where it stemmed from. See, because as a boy in high school, I would fight with my parents to go out all the time and be with my friends and be outside at all times. At some point in time, I became a real homebody, and I just and it just like Lourdes will say, "Hey, there's this great red carpet event," and I'm like, I don't really.
There's this premiere going on.
I'm okay. I'm all
right. There's this gathering with our friends.
Yeah, I'm all right. And the thing is, I always have an excuse. Like I'll say I'm busy, and that's not a fabrication. I actually, a lot of times I had to hold 2 jobs or whatever. So,
or he's trying to get some stuff done, which he can always do later.
Yeah, or I'm trying to like get some writing projects done or something. So I'll always have like an excuse in the chamber, and it was true even this last weekend. I had an excuse in the chamber, which was, geez, babe, I didn't really sleep well last night. I am pretty tired. So if I don't go, it's fine. I'm not worried about it. That's no big
deal.
But I know Lourdes really wants me to go out with her, you know, and it was a good opportunity. It was some dear friends that were in town. And the truth of the matter is, every single time Lourdes convinces me or guilts me into going out sometimes, I actually have an amazing time.
Every time.
Every time with these people.
He really has a good time. We leave pretty late, but we have such a great time, and he comes back.
We're always the last ones at the party. I laugh. I always have a great time. I have a great time when I go out with people. I just don't know why I've got that weird block where
he forgets how much fun it is when we go out. Like when we go out, he's having a blast.
It's true.
And then it's like, then he forgets all about that. And then he goes back again and he has a blast. It's like you always have a great time.
I don't know what it is. So, but at first I was like, see, I do have joint issues and I have skin issues that pop up. And I am working on that, with the juicing and the
And you do see improvements.
I do see improvements.
But if you have that one issue, it's still going to affect you.
Yeah, I got to work that out. So, hey, friends of Lourdes and Chris, you invite me to something, I guess I'll be popping in.
You're going to have to start saying yes more.
Yeah, I suppose. Unless I'm busy.
No. Be busy. He's got to work on that social part. But we got that part is what affects the joints and the skin.
Yeah, and so like I said, try it on for size. If you're somebody who's suffering with joint pains or joint issues, skin issues, things like that, connective tissues, things of that nature. Yeah. Look at your social thing, and I had to give it a good hard look because
but really look at it. Don't go, oh no, I get along with people. Oh, I socialize. I have no problem having conversation. But do you avoid going out? Do you avoid having, really going out to gatherings and events? And
then do you work well with others? I mean, that's the other thing too. Is like, do you have those coworkers that just drive you banana splits and you're the outcast, and all that could lead to joint issues. And so connective tissue issues, things like the skin.
Oh yeah.
And then, so that was the first emotional center, and I had to eat some crow with myself and go, yeah, I guess I do have a thing with that. So maybe that is why that keeps popping up. And the second emotional center is connected to your urinary tract system. And again, it's just like, man, I've had kidney stones. In fact, not for a long time now, actually, since I've done the
root brands.
Oh,
that's right. That completely helped it.
Yeah, I haven't had a problem with that since then. But in the past I have. And so I go, okay, here we go. Urinary tract system.
Why? Because you drink plenty of water. You do all these healthy things. Why do you still have that problem?
And it's just so that has and reproductive organs and all that stuff. The lumbar region, which is lower back, which I've had issues with the lower back as well. I get it out all the time, and not in a long time, but it's there.
Well, no, it actually did improve. To be fair, once we got on these supplements, that did kind of shift things because it's very, very bioavailable, so it kind of goes into the body and does its job. But there was no reason just for it to happen, and it was like
just one of those things I was dealing with. So the thing is,
and that one has to do with.
finances, your relationship with your finances,
Yeah.
and balancing out finances and love, and so, again, I had to look at it.
You're like,
When it comes to when it comes to the moolah, the finances, I'm always the one who's maybe overly cautious, overly concerned.
Overly concerned.
You don't have to. You don't have to add
overly.
You don't have to put
every time, and like, let it go.
You don't have to put a fine point on that. But yeah, between the Lourdes and Chris show, the Lourdes aspect of it is like, we're fine.
We're fine. Let's go do that. And he's just like,
and then the Chris part is like, do we really need to spend money on that? We got other things coming up. We should be more concerned than that.
Nuts. That drives me banana splits.
Well, it might drive you banana splits, but I always like to say it's a good balance between the two. But having said that, Mr. Kidney Stone and urinary tract and lumbar support problems. So perhaps that's something I can look at as well. Again, I had to try it on for size, and I have had issues with that in the past.
So if anyone out there who's having those issues, kind of look at, are you always worried about finances? Are you like, oh, I don't want to spend it on that? And do I need to really do? It's like, just let it go. Look at it and say, do I need this? I could use that. And then just do it. Don't overthink it. Don't get wrapped in the dollar part of it, because way too many people get wrapped in the dollar part. But if they look at the things that they're spending, stuff that they probably don't need, it's like, well, it's just stop buying that and get that, because that is what you need, and you really don't need that other thing.
That's true.
So I think it's just kind of balance yourself out so that you don't have those issues.
Okay. And then, so the third emotional center we kind of looked at, and again, I had to eat some crow on this one. Has to do with your digestive tract and your digestive system, and your adrenal glands, your body weight. How are you with your body weight? Is your body weight ideal? Is it where it wants to be? And that's your kind of your emotional center, your self-worth. How do you value your self-worth?
Like, do you have self-esteem issues? Do you, do you put yourself down a lot? Do you go, like, if somebody gives you a compliment, do you dumb it down because it's just you got this thing?
Oh, I'm telling you. Yeah. I was
some stabs there, maybe?
I'm telling you. So I used to say things like, I look better in person than I do in photos. Like right now, if you're looking at me and you think, man, that guy looks amazing, right? You should see me in person. I'm phenomenal in person. Ridiculous. Brad Pitt hides when I come into the room. That's how hot I am. But it's the camera.
No, but that's the thing is people really go, no, I think I'm fine. But really look, is that an issue that you have health-wise? And how do you look at yourself, and how do you see yourself?
Yeah, if you're struggling with weight, and if you're struggling with digestive issues, and you always have digestive problems, where do you see your self-worth? And actually, mirror back at you, not in a long time now, guys, has she? But when I first got with Lourdes, when we first started dating, decades ago at this point, she did have digestive issues, but at that time in her life, I think maybe it is fair to say that she had not some self-esteem issues, because she always valued herself, but more like she was in situations that weren't great for her.
Well, no, I think I always felt good about myself in general, but I think still there was something deep inside where I think I never let go of, and even growing up, right?
Well, one thing that
growing up was as a kid, I always got teased because I had a deeper voice, and while the little boys had these little feminine voices, as a female, I didn't. And so those things. And then even as a kid, you got to sneeze, baby?
I do, but it's not coming out. Come on.
Hey, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah. And then as a kid, before I got older, I had very voluptuous lips.
Well, okay, so
and I got teased about that. So
I will say this. I think it took a while for Lourdes to learn to trust somebody else in her life. We had trust issues back and forth between the two of us for a long time when we first got together, and we both happened to have digestive issues when we first got together. Former relationships that didn't work out well, and so by the way, that will affect your self-esteem to some degree. It will make you not confident.
Feel confident or not, it might not good.
It's not so much me more than it's a worthiness type of a thing, I think.
And I think a lot of people out there honestly have gone through that, or are in the middle of going through that, where they can't get into a relationship because every relationship they get into, they just don't trust.
Right.
Because of their past relationships.
I was thinking about it the other day. If I have a dream, for example, that Lourdes finds another man and she's going to go leave me.
That's hilarious.
I get so It is not funny.
That's
I get
funny.
so angry that it wakes me up, right? But once I'm awake, I kind of breathe through it and I go, okay, I'm all
That was
right.
a dream.
It was a dream. It was a dream. I'm okay. I'm okay. My wife is amazing and she absolutely loves me and I absolutely love her and we're partners for life and I know that and we're soulmates. I know this.
Yeah.
But when Lourdes has a dream where I've moved on with some other gal, she stays kind of mad about it.
Which is rare and in between, you know, like so far in between.
Yeah.
It's like I'll have them like every, I don't know, so many years. But I'm like, nah, somewhere in another dimension you did. And that's why I felt it in this one.
so then I tried to counter with her and I said, hey, in that other dimension, that means that you blah, blah, blah. And she said, no, incorrect. No matter what dimension, there's no way I would do that to you. But it's your own insecurities working their way through right there. So back on me.
Yeah. So, but I think it's funny because you know, even dreams can do stupid things like that. But it's kind of funny, and I find it funny.
Well, it's funny after the fact.
Yeah.
But certainly when I wake up angry and fuming, it does take me a little bit to realize that it was a dream.
It was a dream.
Fine. Everything's fine.
You know, there's sleep knocked out. She's not even a thought.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So yeah, just so there's something to unpack there. If you find yourself with digestive issues and it maybe not even chronic, maybe just every now and then you have some digestive issues, maybe it's time for you to do a kind of a self-evaluation.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about yourself right now?
Yeah. Do you have self-esteem?
Are you in love with yourself? Do you have real strong love for yourself?
Like literally go in there and you go, I love how I look. I love my body. I am perfect the way I am. Everything about me is me and perfect the way it should be. I mean, honestly, if we just looked at ourselves and thought that, because there's nobody else like you, even though they said, was it, you have, how many that there's
6, I think.
Six people
Twins.
that look identical to you, but fat chance you'll run into them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought, that's interesting.
Which is weird because they must be around because every now and then people mistake me for some other dude all the time.
That's
anyways,
true.
Yeah, the other guy, whoever you are, I'll find you.
You're out there and you look exactly like me.
In fact, I was going to say, when you advocate for people, one of the things that you have them do is you go and make them stand in front of a mirror.
Yes.
And you
look in the mirror and say, I love you.
That's right.
I love you. You are so perfect the way you are. Everything about you is great.
And mean it. Mean it.
Yes. You have to mean, like really just look at yourself. Like just
realize
your own eyes. Like when you're looking in the mirror, look into those eyes of yours and know that you are just perfect and that you do love yourself. And when you get to that point and you're constantly saying it every morning, you start your day that way.
I mean, the nice thoughts are that we're made of cosmic dust because no atoms, because we're all of that stuff. We're made in God's image.
Yeah.
Where the universe becoming aware of itself. You're not an accident. We're not just accidentally here. It didn't happen that way. There's a purpose. There's a divine plan at place.
Yeah.
And just to be a part of that means that we're part of something amazing, and that makes us amazing in and of ourselves. So get to that point if you feel like you're having issues with your stomach every now and then.
And the next one
is okay. So this one's, I don't know, this one was weird. So it has to do with balancing personal desires with you and loved ones. And so let me break this down a little bit because,
and I think it has to do, when it talks about that, it's not saying don't care for your loved ones. Don't, and just be about yourself.
I think it's more of a healthy balance.
It's saying love and take care of yourself. And then when you're taking care of yourself, you're able to help others.
I think
if you're not taking care of yourself, it's kind of hard to take somebody else if you're too, ill or you're not doing well.
Yeah, I think you and I have found a real homeostasis with that. The people we went out with the other night were Dr. Christina Rahm and Clayton.
Yeah.
And Isai Morales. Yeah. And what I really respect about that couple, that power couple, is they've clearly found their homeostasis as well, right? Yes. They clearly have this love between them, and you can see it there. It's like
they have each other's back.
Yeah, they're like one person,
and they love each other so much. It's like us. We love each other so much that we are our best friends. Mm-hmm. We are husband and wife. We are just like this in unison with everything.
So I was at work. I was at work years ago, and when you're amongst a bunch of guys, you start talking and jamming, and then that whole if you were stuck on a desert island, who would you want to be there with came up, and then. These knuckleheads, they're coming up with, Uma Thurman or, like Julia Roberts or whatever. And when it got to me, I said my wife, and they're all like, I'm like, no, but like legitimately, like that's the person I would like to be stuck on a desert island with, because I think, just obviously she's my favorite person, and that would makes anything bearable really when you're with that right somebody. But the other thing is, I think that between the two of us, we're awfully smart, awfully bright. We can figure a way out of that situation.
Yeah, together we'll figure this out.
We will.
And we'll have fun doing it.
And we will.
Because we really do enjoy, we have so much fun together.
Even on our first travel experiences, as stressful as that can be to travel, I think that it's still okay because we're with each other. Versus if I had to fly solo or Lourdes had to fly solo and it was like a nightmare, that's just for some reason you just can't, it's like, ugh, unbearable. But this has to do with your chest, your lungs. So if you're having a problem with this, you may experience symptoms in the cardiovascular system, the lungs or the chest. And here's the thing.
And many people do have that problem.
I know some people you're advocating for, they're dealing with breast cancer.
Yep.
And you know, part of what Lourdes does is she kind of goes into your story. What's happening with you?
Yeah.
Where are you? That sort of thing.
Because we don't go, you know, like when folks reach out and I do a whole thing with them, it's not just diet. It really is nourishing, balancing, and cleansing the mind, the body, and the spirit. And that includes the emotion, because something is causing it to, you know, it's not just one thing or the other. It's really a combination, a collaboration of it all together. So I do tag that. It's like, okay, so what's going on it's this area that's being affected, you know, and it could be a breakup and, you know, a loss of something, and you feel like you weren't loved enough or you weren't treated, you know, it's like, and you were busy giving and giving and giving, but never receiving. And that's also an imbalance. So
yeah, 100%. So these young ladies with breast cancer that are dealing with breast cancer, they were in relationships with a narcissistic man who basically gaslit them, made them feel like they were less than,
and it's like
everything was their fault. And so it's interesting. When I was doing the research, I immediately thought of those gals that you're working with. By the way, how do you feel about the word gal?
I think it's fine.
Yeah, you know, I used it the other day and it offended somebody, and I thought, is that
gal?
Yeah, gal. I said, she's a fine gal. And she goes, excuse me? And I go, oh, she's a fine gal. I don't know. What did I say?
Gal, girl.
I don't know. Anyways, it didn't go as I thought. So
so weird.
Yeah, I don't know. And so, but I've asked around, and most people seems to be fine with gal, but I didn't know if it would be a derogative term or not. But anyways,
it shouldn't be.
These young ladies that Lourdes is working with. Anyways, so it made me think of them because of their situation, but also anybody with like a cardiovascular situation. My brother, by the way. Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying. There are people that have it, and then you think, are they busy stressing out and really trying to figure out, I got to take care of this person, I got to take care of this person? It's like, but they're forgetting about themselves
and put themselves second, but not like there are times where you'll have to put yourself second for me and vice versa.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
But that makes sense depending on the situation.
But it's not a chronic thing.
No matter what, it's like, how can I take care of someone if I can't take care of me?
Right.
You know, sometimes even when I go to lay down, if I go in at the, you know, I'm going to meditate and kind of just focus. And sometimes even in the meditation, when I'm just trying to relax and be in the space of to really connect with God, you know, my mind may drift. And I think a lot of times because then I start thinking of, you know, my loved ones and what to do and what I need to do. And it's like, whoa. Right now it's my time.
That's right.
When I'm done doing this for me, I can think about those things after. I can figure those things out later. So I catch myself, but there was a time where I wouldn't even catch myself. My whole time I was just like, wait, I just spent a whole hour just on that.
No, and it's interesting you should say that too, because I think it's very healthy to acknowledge that you have time for you. It's very healthy to acknowledge that you're important. And it's very healthy to acknowledge that you're in a relationship, and it should be a mutual beneficial thing.
There goes my dyslexia. Reciprocated.
You can do it.
Reciprocated.
Reciprocated.
See, I told you.
Reciprocated.
My thing, it's like my brain sees it, but it's
okay. I had a problem with Pacific Standard Time for a long time until I worked through that. So we're.
But that's the thing is we really do. It's really critical when it comes. You know, you can eat healthy. You can end up doing all the great juices and going non-GMO and exercising and doing all these things. But if you're not taking the time for you, if you're not letting go of the things that why am I sweating finances or relationships or whatever that is, if you don't break it down, and it's kind of almost important to kind of take a journal and go, these are the things how I'm going to start my day, which is what I have. The people
I was going to get to that later, but anyway.
But no, I'm just saying these are the things we should be doing because of what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's a way to kind of look at it where sometimes we don't see it because we're not writing it down. We're not seeing it in our, you know.
And so, so the fifth emotional center has to do with the mouth, the cervical.
Oh, I thought you said 6.
Fifth.
Oh,
we're only on 5 now.
Okay.
Sorry, it's just taking so long for us to get there. But the fifth one's got to do with the mouth, the thyroid, the cervical center. These body parts are, you know, it's about communication, which makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense that it would be about communication. So if you find yourself in a career, and we know someone very close and personal to us, who actually works for an entity that she can't speak her mind and she can't speak up. In fact, they monitor her social media. And so she can't be verbal there as well, because there could be repercussions for her
and we know
professional career.
the thing, we know a few people like that because of their career. They kind of hold back.
Right.
They'll see something, go, oh my gosh, I agree 100% with that. But because it doesn't go along with the majority of, and I shouldn't even say majority, because the majority, actually what we've seen is the other side, but the minority of the folks that control everything, of what the majority get to see. So they have to be careful, because that little small group controls everything. And they, and many of them are like that, where they won't say things, they have to kind of hold back, and they end up with so many issues in their, when it comes to their health.
Right. And so if you just think in terms of, like people that have dealing with situations with thyroid, are you as expressive as you need to be when it comes to things? Are you eating your words?
Or are you holding back?
Obviously, there are times to eat your words, right? I mean, if you're at a funeral with somebody that you didn't much care for, that's not the time to say something. Obviously, come on, man.
No, but it's like, let's say it's a job thing. Most people, it's because
many
of the people that I know, it's a job
and if it's in your personal relationship, you really need to look at that. Yeah.
But this is the thing. We understand that, especially if it's a job that you like, but you can't, you have to be careful with the other stuff.
Or people good at it, yeah.
At least get home and write it out, or record, express it somehow. Don't hold that in because you couldn't say it there, but you can say it at home. It's your space.
And this goes back. It's funny because how it all intertwines with each other, but this kind of goes back to having that partner, and
whether it's a friend, a relative, somebody, or just yourself.
I mean, Lourdes has lifelong friends that if she gets on the phone with them right now, I'll call it a night. I'm not going to see Lourdes for the rest of the night, and I'll just go do my own thing, because she'll be on the phone with them for hours. And one in particular, actually. And she's amazing.
Well, I would say there's a couple of them. Yeah. Because I mean, I've known Tammy.
I was thinking of Tammy. Yeah.
I've known Tammy since grade school.
Sure.
And we're still best of friends. We're pretty much sisters.
Yeah. Right? And talk about someone that is a good sounding board, because look, there are times where Tammy and Lourdes don't even agree with each other on some fundamental point.
And we still respect each other's, what we stand. And funny that as time went on, we're actually on the same page now.
Yeah.
When it comes to all those thoughts.
Yeah. And so I'm just saying, it's funny because that kind of also corresponds with the first one, which is social. They're all linked together, and that makes sense because your body's linked together. All these different aspects work with each other. And so if you go to the lourdesandchrisshow.com and you look at Dr. Newsom's episode when he was on, and he was talking about the detox funnel. Yeah. It's a really good illustration about how the body literally works with each other. It's not like, my hand's got nothing to do with this hand. Yeah. Quite the contrary.
Well, all of it, because we're not just a heart or lungs or intestines or stomach or ovaries or, pancreas, whatever. We're a whole that works all together. That's why sometimes I cringe when I see that they remove certain organs, things from people, and it's just like, it's there for a reason.
Yeah.
You were born with that for a reason. Oh, I had this issue, you can cause that. So then why aren't we looking at the cause so we can fix that? It's always been a problem.
And one of the big tenets of option C that we option C is what we have labeled being your own health advocate and being your own strongest champion. Option C, one of the things that we've always told people during option C is that they have to build a team. And there's a reason for that, and so that kind of corresponds with this as well. Now, the sixth emotional center is got to do with the eyes.
Yes.
Right. And it's about being open-minded. So it's got to do with the brain, the eyes, which is vision, and the ears, which is hearing. So if you're having any issues with any of these things, suddenly something is wrong with your eyes, or you've got some funky thing with the brain, or
they don't like change.
They don't like change. No, they're not open-minded, and they're not open to change. And
they want to keep it the way it is. Let's leave things alone. No, I don't want to move from here. Or no, I don't want to start, a new journey. I don't want to go to another state.
I'm not willing to try that supplement. I'm not willing to try that dietary thing. I'm not willing to try,
I don't want to try these new things. I don't know what it's going to do. It's like, well, it's just a supplement.
And some of the people,
but it's all these different. But it's not just that; it's everything.
And the irony of that is, again, when I tried this on for size, I have good hearing and I've got great vision. I always have, and I have always been open minded when it comes to like like I said, one of my biggest beliefs is that people need to just try something before or hear it out and
Yeah, well,
filter.
and we're not talking doing something that's immoral.
Right.
We're literally talking about if you go, I've never had this food, let me try it. I have never gone to that state, and I'm going to go for. I've never gone to that museum. I've never, instead of just staying in your own little box, try going out and just going to different states and cities, and maybe to other countries, or try other different foods, or meet other different people that you don't know.
I would say that in our journey, especially with your cancer, I was closed-minded at one time. I would say to some degree I wasn't willing to listen to new things, but that it's always short-lived for me. I'm always willing to go, well, let me see. Like,
let me try it.
Yeah, when Lourdes told me that she was going to heal herself naturally from cancer, at first I thought she was banana splits, but then she showed me people that had done so, and like this person did so by using this method, this person did so by using this method, and I wasn't so closed-minded that I said, no,
I don't care that person's showing the before and after.
Actually, we get a lot of that now, right? You have a really close friend of yours that was basically like, we're not allowed to talk about that one topic anymore. We could talk about anything else but politics because I refuse to see what you're saying. And it's just like, wow, how close-minded is that? You're not even going to try it on for size. You're not even going to look at that.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. It people don't realize that those things affect your health. There is nothing wrong with looking. We're not saying look and then become that. Sure. Look and then believe that. Look, no, just look. When you're researching, just check it out. Well, there you go. Bless you. If someone's bringing up something to you, what are you going to lose by looking?
Yeah,
and then don't look like I'm standing and I'm closed-minded. I refuse to. I'm going to look at it, but I'm going to critique everything. And if I see the truth, I'm not going to accept it.
Right.
It's like just let it go and learn. I mean, I remember even for myself about three years ago. Oh no, maybe 4 years ago, but. I was like, it was 4 years ago. I was really like, no matter what someone was saying, I'm like, no, I'm not going to watch it. Like I see it, I feel like I lose brain cells just by looking at listening to this person. I just think that we're just so stupid, right? And not that they were stupid, but just the politics of it all. I really was so closed to, because I, for so many years, believed in one thing, right? That no matter what they would say, I'd actually get upset. Like, really? You don't see that they're doing this? And they're like, but are they? Yes, I saw it with my own eyes. Did you see the whole thing? I don't need to see the whole thing. It's 5 minutes of it is enough. But did you pay attention? It was edited. I was really like, and then it just took one thing. And a lot of times people can plant a seed, and you don't even realize that seed was planted.
Right.
And then because it's there in your subconscious mind, and then you look at it and you go, maybe I will see the whole thing. You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, basically what it came down to was the video was edited in such a way to make this person look bad.
Yeah.
And we're like, what a monster. And then when you saw the unedited version, you go, oh no, it wasn't at all like that. It wasn't
like that at all.
Yeah, that's not at all.
Yeah. So we got clear, but this is the thing. That's why I tell people, no matter what it is, whether it's politics, religion, spirituality, foods, try to really take it on for size to step out of your comfort zone.
Well, and I think you're right. Open-mindedness doesn't mean that you're just going to willy-nilly accept everything that comes down the turnpike.
It just means you're going to check it out.
Like, there are some things that came to us, Lourdes and I. These are people who brought ideas or concepts to us, and we looked into it and we thought, no. That doesn't work for me. I don't see that.
But we checked it out.
But we still looked into it. We still kept an open mind about it. And then the seventh emotional center is a little bit more obscure. It's a little bit more out there. It has to do with the chronic aspect of things.
Yeah, and that means chronic in whatever illness it is.
Yeah.
If you have a chronic illness when it comes to digestion, or colitis or Crohn's or kidney issues or any of those things, anything that happens to be really chronic, that's when it's because it's a consistent thing that you haven't let go of.
Yeah, so it's unique because if the seventh emotional center is like, if it's got more to do with the lifespan of whatever the other ones were. So like we talked about joints, for example, at the front, and that being a social thing. If you're one of these people that are proud introverts, and I hate people, all people suck, or something like that.
Yeah.
And you wind up, what happens is the seventh emotional thing is that you're holding on to this thing it's like holding on to a red hot rock for way too long. And of course you're going to start burning.
Yeah.
And so it has to do with are you able to let go of the stuff that's not serving you?
Yeah.
You know?
Because that's what happens is, so whatever that emotional issue you have that's affecting, whether it's your joints or your kidneys or your heart or your breast or any of those things, it's affected because of the thing that you just won't let go, and it just keeps it repetitively being right there on a daily basis.
And this is also the emotional center that's most connected to the spiritual self.
Yeah.
Turn the other cheek, for example. Now there are some people in our lives who we will never exchange words with again, but we don't hate them. We send them nothing but love. Always. We wish them nothing but the best life.
Yep.
And that was just us letting go, because that term "turn the other cheek," for what it's worth, had nothing to do with just take it on the chin and keep going. It's very intelligent, because what it's saying is, by holding on to this bad thing, you're affecting you.
Yep.
So turn the other cheek is more about keeping your temple pure,
which is the same thing as forgiving.
Yeah.
Forgiving is not only letting them be able to breathe on that, right? You let it go, but it's really you. By you forgiving that person or that situation, you're finally letting it go.
And like I said,
you're not hanging on
if they're a toxic person, then you don't have to have them in your life. Forgiving them doesn't mean you have to keep them in your life. It just means that you don't hold on to anything like that. And so what I'm saying is, the number 7 corresponds with the spiritual aspect, in the sense that anything that we've talked about, and if you heard something and you go, I have issues with that, and as a matter of fact, I do correspond with that, then the 7th emotional center has to do with how are you able to work through it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't become a chronic thing. Like,
you don't want a chronic disease or chronic illness.
You don't.
You want to figure out how to work through it.
Right. Exactly right. So those are the 7 emotional centers. And when Lourdes brought it to my attention, like I said, at first I was kind of like, I don't know if this has got anything to do with, and it's just like, the more I read it, I'm like, holy cow, I got to really look into this.
That is me. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that might be true for a lot of people. If you find it, you have these little quirky things that come up every now and then. The emotional centers that we just talked about tonight, look into that and see if there's something there. And it'll certainly help you out, because it's, like we said, mind, body, and spirit. It's all the above.
Yep. Sure is.
Yeah. And so we absolutely thank you for joining us again this week. We apologize for last week again, but this week was what was last week. So next week will be what was. We'll move forward.
We'll move forward.
So you can see us on all these different social media outlets. We're on all of them. Lourdes has got a lot more followers on Instagram than I do. So
hey,
I'm not taking it personal, but why haven't you friended me on Instagram? I don't know.
Trying to post more.
Yeah, I do need to post more.
You need to post
I need to get more active on that. So you can follow us on the different social media. And then, of course, you can find us on the lourdesandchrisshow.com. And you heard us discuss the root brands tonight a couple times, and how much it's helped me.
And it really, I honestly, and we've tried so many things. And I always tell people, try it when you like it. Because you will. Because it is bioavailable. It is one of the things that has helped many people with literally every issue because there's different people with different issues, and it didn't matter what it was, it corrected those issues because it gave the body what it needed, and it took care of the cause, right? The root cause. And so the body took care of it and healed.
Right.
And so if you go to the Lord, nope, not the Lourdes and Chris Show. But you can go to the lourdesandchrisshow.com, because you will also see it there. But you can also just go to therootbrands.com/Lourdes and Chris.
That's right. And so that's where you would go just to sign up. We recommend the Trinity, which is what we take on a daily basis. But the Relive Grims is also amazing, and the other stuff they got in there is amazing as well.
And it is affiliate, which also helps our show.
It does.
So you go on there and make sure that when it says referral code, Lourdes and Chris, all one word. And then it's so simple. Like literally, you put your name and your email. Referral code is us, Lourdes and Chris. Click the box, done. Go shop. That's it. You got your own account.
Yep. Free to set up.
Simple. Yep.
Free to set up.
And it's really great. And those who do, if you don't mind, whatever you were dealing with, or you may not be dealing with anything, but you just want to give yourself the best stuff. If you see a difference, definitely share it with us. We really love all the stories we've been getting from so many people, actually all around the world, who have been really sharing their stories on how things changed in their life after using this. So.
Yep. So again, thank you for your patience for last week. We'll see you again in a week. That's the plan. Thursday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's when Lourdes and Chris Show drops its next episode. And that's when we'll see you next week. We'll be talking about something equally exciting. Actually, we might do the GMO thing. I don't know. We'll look into that.
We'll see.
Yeah. So we'll see you again next week. We absolutely love you. Thank you for joining us every week. You're our favorite people. Well, you're my favorite person. You're my second favorite people. All right. So love you all. And we'll see you again in about a week. you.